Dham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Sarupapasya Karanam Kushalasya Pasandapata. Swachiti Parivatpanam Etat Buddha Anushasana. Good morning, everybody. My topic is the Madhyamika interpretation of the Madhyamika interpretation of Pratitesam Utpada as the basis of Shunyata and Mahakaruna. Introduction. In the early Buddhist traditions, Theravada Buddhism, also known as the Pali tradition, uses the Pali language for canonical texts and liturgical activities, while the Sarvastivada tradition utilizes Sanskrit. The Sarvastivada tradition further categorizes Buddhism into four philosophical schools: Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chitramatarta, and Madhyamaka. The first two schools fall into the category of lower vehicle, Hinayana, while the latter two fall into the category of higher schools, also called great vehicle, Mahayana. Though all four schools claim to be Madhyamaka, the first three schools refer to the fourth school as the expounder of essencelessness, rather than Madhyamaka. Madhyamika calls the first three schools realists because they accept the existence of inherently existing phenomena, Svabhava Siddhi Dharma. All four schools of Buddhism consider Pratidesam Utpada, dependent origination, as a fundamental and important teaching of the Buddha. They also claim that all phenomena are Pratidesam Utpada, dependent origination. However, there is a debate in Buddhism about whether the combination of Pratidesam Utpada and Svabhava Siddhi Dharma is possible or not. Buddhist realist schools admit that, on the one hand, all phenomena are Pratidesam Utpada because they depend on causes and conditions. And on the other hand, some phenomena really exist in their own right, Svabhava Siddhi, such as indivisible atoms, indivisible mind, and mental factors, and so forth. They argued that these are not illusions, as Madhyamaka accepts. Madhyamika says that since all phenomena are Pratidesam Utpada, they are no inherently existing phenomena, Svabhava Siddhi Dharma. If phenomena really existed in their own right, Svabhava Siddhi Dharma, then Pratidesam Utpada would not be possible, since Pratidesam Utpada and Shunyata are identical in meaning, as stated by Nagarjuna in Parangya Mulak Madhyamika Karika, Fundamental Wisdom. Wherever emptiness is possible, everything is possible. Wherever emptiness is not possible, everything is not possible. Thus, Pratidesam Utpada is a term used for Samvriti Satya, conventional truth, whereas Shunyata, emptiness, is a term used for Paramatma Satya, ultimate truth. These two truths are inseparable entities, but are classified for ordinary beings, Pridakjan, and noble beings, Arijan, respectively. Mahakaruna, great compassion. Karuna, compassion, is a concept found in all religions of the world. The termination of Karuna is a mental factor wishing to remove the suffering of others. This is possible for all ordinary sentient beings. However, Mahakaruna, great compassion, is possible only for Buddhas and Bodhisattvas because it is defined as the mental factor wishing to remove the suffering of all beings forever. In Mahayana text, more emphasis is placed on Mahakaruna. Sakya Pandita quoted a sutra in Munimat Prakash as follows. Arya Avalokiteshvara replied, Bhagavan, Bodhisattva should not learn many things. If a Bodhisattva learns only one thing, then all the excellent qualities of the Buddha are in his hands. One may ask, what is that one? The response is Mahakaruna, great compassion. seeing Mahakaruna as important at the beginning, middle, and end in order to attain Buddhahood, Acharya Chandrakirti paid homage to Mahakaruna while writing the text Madhyamika Avtara, entry into the middle. Firstly, I am paying homage to Mahakaruna because only Karuna is accepted as a seed irrigating to develop and ripen in the place of enjoyment of perfectly harvested Buddhahood. Firstly, it is important to have compassion, karuna, towards sentient beings, so that one may develop bodhicitta, enlightened mind. Secondly, if one does not frequently practice compassion through the path, there is a danger and possibility of abandoning bodhicitta, and the practitioner may injure the sarvaka vehicle, also called self-liberation. Thirdly, even if one attains Buddhahood, if the practitioner lacks compassion, there is a danger of either not bestowing teachings or not manifesting exalted deeds for sentient beings. Therefore, great compassion is vital at the beginning, middle, and end in order to attain Buddhahood, just as an authentic seed, irrigation, and useful fruit are vital at these stages for the benefit of people. Additionally, in the Bhagavad Review of Acharya Asanga, it is stated that Asanga meditated for 12 long years to have a vision of Arya, but achieved no result. At last, due to having compassion for a dog caught by worms, he had the vision of his deity Arya Nata. Thus, in order to attain Buddhahood, one has to practice both Mahakaruna, great compassion, and Shunyata, emptiness, the two tools, like the combination of bow and arrow hitting its target. Three kinds of compassion are described by Acharya Chandrakirti in the Madhyamika Avtara. 1. Compassion focusing on sentient beings. 2. Compassion focusing on dharmas, phenomena. 3. Compassion focusing on non-observation, also known as shunyata, emptiness, or illusion. Number 1. Compassion focusing on sentient beings means that the practitioner perceives both sentient beings and their suffering as ultimate real, and wishes to liberate truly, substantially existing sentient beings from genuinely existent suffering. This form of compassion is termed compassion focusing on sentient beings. According to tradition, such compassion results in rebirth in higher realms such as those of humans or gods. Number 2, compassion focusing on dharmas, phenomena, means the practitioner recognizes that there are no substantially existing sentient beings, but that the self is merely inputted on the five aggregates of form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness, constitutes composed of indivisible atom of body, mind, and mental factors, thought to be ultimately real. Wishing to liberate sentient beings inputted upon these aggregates from suffering is called compassion focusing on phenomena. Here, dharma, phenomena, refer to the five aggregates. If this type of compassion is coupled with the view of selflessness of person, putkal neratma, the practitioner can attain the result of sarvaka liberation. Number 3, compassion focusing on non-observation, shunyata, emptiness, illusion, arises when the practitioner understands that on the ultimate level, paramarth artha, they are neither truly existent sentient beings nor suffering, due to emptiness, shunyata. However, on the conventional level, samriti satya, both sentient beings and suffering exist merely by imputation, like an illusion. The aspiration, may illusion like sentient beings be free from illusion like suffering, exemplifies this third kind of compassion. If this compassion fundamentally realizes emptiness, being free from all four extremes of existence, non-existence, both in neither, or pursuing both the selflessness of person and of phenomena, putkal neratma and dharma neratma, then it is said to result in Buddhahood. Thus, one should cultivate the view that all phenomena like illusion, as illustrated by the story of Shankaracharya. It is said that a previous Shankaracharya, after teaching that all phenomena like illusions, as the Madhyamika tradition maintains, once fled from a mad elephant. When students questioned why, if the elephant was an illusion, he ran at all, he replied, I also ran as an illusion. If someone practices the view of emptiness diligently but neglects to cultivate great compassion, there is no way to attain Buddhahood, just as a bird cannot fly with only one wing. Therefore, both great compassion and the view of emptiness are indispensable for attaining Buddhahood, like a combination of bow and arrow hitting its targets. Only when any of these three compassions embrace the suffering of all sentient beings, it is truly called great compassion. Otherwise, it remains mere compassion. Mhm. In Mahayana Buddhism, much emphasis is placed on compassion, with the Bodhisattva deity Arya Avalokiteshvara as its embodiment. According to a sutra, Arya Avalokiteshvara vowed not to attain Buddhahood until all sentient beings were liberated from cyclic existence, samsara. After liberating countless sentient beings, when he saw the number remaining, he fainted from grief and his body shattered into 1,000 pieces, eventually becoming Arya Avalokiteshvara with 1,000 hands and 1,000 eyes. Upon witnessing the unbearable suffering of beings, our Avalokiteshvara is said to have shed tears, from which a lotus pond sprang. From its pollen arose the goddess Tara, who declared, "Do not be upset. From today onwards, we will work together to liberate sentient beings." It is generally accepted in all religions that compassion is essential. However, the possibility of combining compassion and violence is mostly deemed unacceptable. According to Mahayana Buddhism, it depends on context. A sutra recounts, once when the Buddha practiced as a bodhisattva and was born as a captain named Great Compassionate, he foresaw a thief intending to murder 500 merchants. To save the merchants and prevent the thief's future suffering in hell, the captain killed the thief, accepting possible hellish consequences for himself. In this way, it is said the captain accumulated great merit. This is like a parent compassionately punishing a child who steals a small item to prevent greater wrongdoing in the future. One can find numerous examples in which external acts of physical or verbal violence are accompanied by internal mental intentions of loving kindness and compassion. For instance, when the doctor amputates a limb, performs a surgery, or even a parent reprimands a child, or even when an injection is given to a sick person, all fall into this category, as does the complex issue of mercy killing in terminally ill patients. Different traditions view this differently. For example, Sakya Pandita said in Trisambhara Prabheda, if anyone commits 4 defeats with a stable mind for others, that is great virtue of a bodhisattva, whereas it becomes non-virtue for a sarvaka. The 4 defeats are killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and claiming false spiritual attainments. For instance, if a doctor tells a relative that a patient will live no longer than 15 days, and the patient asks, the relative may compassionately lie, telling the patient not to worry to prolong their life. There are many examples of patients living longer than predicted due to positive encouragement. On the other hand, telling the harsh truth may shock the patient and accelerate death, illustrating the mental dimension of well-being. Therefore, as stated in Trisambhara Prabheda, if it harms others, though it is not a lie, that is a reflection of no downfalls. In other words, if telling the truth produces harm, it is considered a fault. Thus, motivation is key in Buddhism for classifying actions, karma, as virtues, non-virtues, or neutral, as stated in the Ratnavali. A compassionate person achieves all aims. One may ask, to whom should one have compassion? Generally, compassion is for those in trouble or suffering, to relieve them from suffering. According to Buddhist texts, Sakya Pandita and Munimad Prakasha categorize the object of compassion into 6. Compassion for the destitute, compassion for the mischievous, compassion for the angry, compassion for the careless, compassion for the distracted by objects, compassion for those attached to perverse things. These 6 types exhaustively correspond to beings who are engrossed in the opposite of the 6 perfection, paramitas. The easiest way to develop compassion in practice is to recognize that everything you see, whether animal or human, is an object of compassion, since no one is free from suffering, such as old age and death, as stated by Kungtang Tempe Dreme. Though the Buddha and others pervaded the world with amazing exalted deeds, no one remains alive in the present. They all are teachers bestowing the truth of impermanence. When I was in Singapore visiting the city, one resident told me, Dr. Tashi, you might think Singaporeans are very happy and wealthy, but that is not true. All of them face many financial, physical, and mental problems. While living in India, many people think that America is like heaven. However, upon visiting, the reality is quite different. For example, a group of professors from the USA, Australia, and India working on a research project sponsored by the Australian Research Council, ARC, planned a weekend sightseeing trip in Singapore. When discussing plans, an American professor said, if ARC is sponsoring it, then it is okay. Otherwise, my budget is tight. I was shocked and said, in this world, people consider America like heaven, and especially becoming professor is rare. If an American professor has a tight budget, then there's no chance to become a professor even in the diamond ring in this life. What about workers in other countries? The American professor responded, everyone has their own problems. The other foreign professor agree with him. Thus, whoever you see, none are free from problems. Considering this, one should cultivate compassion for all beings. There is a famous stanza. One should not harm others, exemplifying with one's own body. The philosophy of shunyata or emptiness. There are various religions and philosophies in the world to which people adhere and consider that is the best or fit for them. That is why the Buddha said in the Langa Avatara Sutra, as physician gives medicine in accordance with the sickness of patient, likewise Buddha gives teachings to sentient beings according to their mental capabilities. Philosophy Nagarjuna is related with the Prajnaparamita Sutra, Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, the second turning of wheel of Dharma, according to Mahayanis. The meaning of Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, the emptiness, the explicit teaching of the sutra had been illustrated by Acharya Nagarjuna, who wrote 5 collections of the reasonings of Madhyamika treatises. Namely, number 1, Prajna Mulak Madhyamika Karika, Fundamental Wisdom. Number 2, Yukti Sastika, 60 verses on reasoning. Number 3, Shunyata Saddhati, 70 verses on emptiness. Number 4, Vikar Vyavarati, reputation of argumentation. And number 5, Vaidalya Sutra, finally ground. Nagarjuna's works can be summarized into related with Sutra and Tantra, and again, Sutra can be summarized into 3, namely collection of reasonings, collection of eulogies, and collections of advice. In the Prajna Mulak Madhyamika Karika, Nagarjuna made examination on 27 topics, though he can elaborate more than 27 topics, but the main reason is generally people consider these 27 things are truly existed and not imputed by mind. So in order to refute opponent's view, as well as to prove that those are empty, he examined each and every topic by using various methods of emptiness proving logic. One may ask, after paying homage, he wrote a stanza of non-existence of arising from four extremes, but he has not elaborated the reputation of arising from them. Why is it so? As in Prajna Mulak Madhyamika Karika, there is never arising of anything at any place, because of neither from identical, nor from different, nor from both, and nor from causelessness. In order to refute the arising from different, Nagarjuna presented specific chapter of examination of conditions. The reason is all the 3 Buddhist realist schools, Vaibhashika, Swatantrika, Chitramatra, except cause, condition, and effect are different, and through really existed causes and conditions, really existed result emerge. So he emphasized on the really non-existence of conditions. Since arising from identical both and causelessness are accepted only by non-Buddhists and their reputations are the common duty of all the four schools of Buddhism, therefore Nagarjuna kept neutral on them. Studying only Pranjamulak Madhyamika Karika and stating Nagarjuna does not accept anything and only negation is there is incorrect. And on the other hand, studying only Ratnavali and stating he does not accept any negation of phenomena is also incorrect. So in order to know both of the texts, one should know about two truths of middle way as stated in Pranjamulak Madhyamika Karika. Bestowing the teachings of Buddhas properly depend on two truths, worldly conventional truth and holy ultimate truth. Also in Pita Putra Samagam Sutra, Father and Son Meeting Sutra, it has been pronounced. The knower of the world, without listening to others, preaches only through these two truths, that which is convention as well as ultimate. The third truth never exists. Doing listening, contemplation, and meditation on Nagarjuna's middle way philosophy can achieve auspices and fulfills one's aims in this life, next life, Sarvaka liberations, as well as Buddhahood, because of relying on two truths of convention and ultimate. Manner of achieving auspices in this life. Conventional truth has two classifications, namely improper and proper conventional truth, as stated in the text, Two Truths by Acharya Gyanagarbha. Convention has been classified into proper and improper due to having potential and impotential to function, though both of them are similar in appearances. Improper conventional truth. As making improper effort to achieve one's aim in daily life is harmful, likewise, in Madhyamika tradition, an improper conventional truth cannot function accordingly, such as seeing true moons to correct person. Though the correct person sees true moons, but the functioning of true moons, such as shining of true moons, etc., are not possible in practical. So, in order to have healthy body, mental peace, and happiness, to become wealthy, harmonious with friends, relatives, neighbor, and society, one should not commit perverted action. For example, eating unhealthy, unhygienic, and fast food, but aiming for healthy body. Having anger, hatred, attachment, jealousy, competitive mind, pride, etc. in mind, but aiming for mental peace and happiness. Not making effort to achieve wealth, but aiming to become rich. Arguing with friends, etc., but aiming for harmonious society. Eating sweet by sugar patient, taking oily things by a person having high cholesterol, etc., or not following the rules and regulations of any society or country, but hoping to achieve all the facilities of them. These are not possible because of perverted cause and effect relationship. Chandrakirti said that any object grasped by any of the six impaired faculty, then both of the subject and object are called improper conventional truth. This improper conventional truth is not accepted as authentic even by the world. Proper conventional truth. This reverses what is considered as authentic in the world, such as abstaining from 10 negativities, accumulating 10 virtues action, good behavior, having loving kindness, compassion, altruistic mind, making effort for those particular causes in order to achieve those results, as stated in Ratnavali. One becomes wealthy through generosity, etc., or following the rules and regulations of any society or country and also hoping to achieve all the facilities of them. These are possible because of having correct cause and effect relationship. Chandrakirti said that any object grasped by any of the six unimpaired faculty, then both of the subject and object are called proper conventional truth. This proper conventional truth is accepted as authentic even by worldly people, as stated in the Madhyamika Avtara. Even illusory seeing is accepted as truth aspects, that which is unimpaired and impaired. Furthermore, the Madhyamika Avtara, that which is grasped by unimpaired six faculties and is realized by the world, is true also in the very world, and rest are presented as wrong even in the world. Manner of achieving auspices in next life. So, any person relies on the proper conventional truth can achieve auspices in this life, and also because of sowing proper virtue seeds, he can achieve higher realms in this life. Manner of attaining Sarvaka liberation. Though there are various ways to classify the shunyata, emptiness, through objects such as 20 sort of emptiness, or proving emptiness through examining to various things such as examination, condition, etc., described in the Prajna Mulak Madhyamika Karika. But one can summarize that emptiness, that summarized into two of selflessness of person and selflessness of phenomenon. In order to attain Sarvaka liberation, the realization of selflessness of person, Putkal Neratma, is the must. And in order to attain Buddha, the fully realization of selflessness of phenomena, Dharma Neratma, is the must. In Buddhist texts, various terminologies have been used as the main cause to take birth in cyclic existence, such as desire, attachment, craving, ignorance, self-grasping, etc. But more or less they are identical. Person wanders in cyclic existence as long as the person has self-grasping view, as stated in the Pramanavartika. Ignorance is the root of all, and that also refers to the view of transitory collection, Satkaya Dristi. Furthermore, in the Parmanavartika, if there is self, then there is consideration to others. From that partiality to self and others, attachment and hatred emerge respectively. Because of corresponding to them, all the faults occur. Also, it has been stated in the Madhyamika Avatar as, people attach to self by stating I at first. After that, as they attach to things by stating mine. So I prostrate to him who has compassion to sentient beings lacking freedom, like spilling water from a well. So in order to attain liberation of any of the vehicle, yana, either it is of Sarvaka yana, listeners, Pratyek Buddha yana, solitary Buddha, or Buddha, the minimum qualification is the realization of selflessness of person, Putkal Neratma. After attaining Sarvaka liberation, if one practices, he can attain Buddhahood. But Sarvaka liberation are not ultimate vehicles, as stated in the Madhyamika Avatara. In order to lessen the suffering of group of people traveling in ocean for jewel, wise captain shows beautiful island in the middle of journey. Likewise, your Buddhas, these vehicles apply the mind of disciples, Sarvakas and Pratyek Buddha, in peace. But for those who have trained the mind in emptiness, you taught vehicle differently. Generally, it is said that the Putkal Neratma, selflessness of person, is for Sarvaka, and the Dharma Neratma, selflessness of phenomena, is for greater vehicle, Mahayana, as stated in the Abhisamaya by Maitriyanatha. The path of knower of all aspects, which has been taught by Buddha in this Prajnaparamita Sutra, is not the topic to be experienced by other Sarvakayana. Manner of attaining Pratyek Buddha liberation. Sarvaka can be used in two different ways, because sometimes Pratyek Buddha is also included in Sarvaka, while we count only two yanas of Sarvaka yana and Bodhisattva yana. Whereas while we count three yanas, then Pratyek Buddha is separate one. The difference is one can attain the Aratshi or Sarvaka in 3 lifetimes if the practitioner is sharp intelligence having the best effort. The Aratshi of Pratyek Buddha can be attained in 100 eons and Buddhahood in 3 countless eons, as stated in the Praman Yukti Niti, Treasury of Logic on Valid Cognition. It completes in 3 lifetimes, 100 eons, and 3 countless eons. The Pratyek Buddha is also called Madhya Buddha, middling Buddha in the Madhyamika Avatara, because of having superiority to Sarvaka but lacking great compassion and so on, comparing with Buddha. Pratyek Buddha is also superior in the realization of selflessness of phenomena, comparing with Sarvaka, because of also having realization of selflessness of external phenomena, as stated in the Abhisamaya. One should know the brief path of rhinoceros like Khatka Visana Kalpa Pratyek Buddha, person who abandons conceptual thought related with external object of phenomena, but not abundance internal subject grasping. Manner of attaining Buddhahood. All the above mentioned realization of selflessness of phenomena are related only with freedom from inherently existence, alias truly existence, or freedom from first extremes. But in order to attain Buddhahood, there's only one complete middle way view to be realized, that which is freedom from all the four extremes of existence, non-existence, both in neither. As Arideva has said in the Jnanasara Samuchaya, compendium of essence of spontaneous wisdom, neither existence nor non-existence, nor existence and non-existence, neither on non-both. That which is free from four extremes is Madhyamika, that is the tradition of scholars. Also in the Prangyamulak Madhyamika Karika, it is stated, all the Buddhas said that emptiness can remove all views, but those who view to emptiness are incurable. Again, in the Prangyamulak Madhyamika Karika, it is stated, I pay homage to Gautama, who bestowed holy teaching with great compassion in order to illuminate all views. This view of realization of freedom from four extremes does not exist in other vehicle, because during the path of accumulation of greater vehicle, Sambhar mark, the practitioner listens and contemplates on it, relying on scripture as the masters. During the path of application, Prayog mark, the person meditates in generic image, manner, and due to that, when he attains first bodhisattva ground, Darshan mark, he can directly realize the greater vehicles, middle way view of emptiness free from four extremes. Though the practice of meditation on emptiness during meditational stage, Bhavana mark, commencing from first to 10 bodhisattva grounds, he collects accumulation of spontaneous wisdom. And due to practicing generosity, etc., rest of the perfections, alias compassion in post-meditational stages, he collects accumulation of merit and attains Buddhahood. Meditational stages are related with ultimate truth, Paramatma Satya, whereas post-meditational stages are related with conventional truth, Samriddhi Satya. Lacking the practice of both of the truths, alias compassion and emptiness, there's no way to attain liberation and Buddhahood, as stated in the Madhyamika Avtara. Those who are out of the path of Acharya Nagarjuna Pada, there's no method for peace, liberation. They are spoiled from the conventional and ultimate truth. Because of spoiling from them, one cannot attain liberation. And also lacking the accumulation of merit and spontaneous wisdom, there's no way to attain Buddhahood, as stated in Ratnavali. Hawking, in brief, the form body, Rupakaya of all Buddhas emerge from the accumulation of merit. A natural body, Dharmakaya, from the accumulation of spontaneous wisdom. Bhavatu Saur Mangalam.